So if I want to take my family to Disney, when do I need to start planning? Where do we stay? Are my kids the right age? What time of year is best? How expensive is this going to be?
Do I need to take out a loan?
Are my kids going to fight all day? What's the difference between Disney World and Disneyland? All day just standing on line? Why are there so many parks? I am a travel expert, and even I am overwhelmed at the idea of planning a trip to Disney. And as a parent, I know that it's inevitable. I know I'm going to take my kids there. You know what I think I'm going to do? I am going to call in an actual proper Disney travel expert to help me navigate this whole thing. I've brought in a trusted travel specialist from our Condé Nast Traveler Specialist list, Michelle Allen, who is the owner of Travel Magic. Michelle, thank you so much for being here.
Erin, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you about Disney World.
I have to say, I travel for a living. Planning, thinking of travel, going on travel, doing travel is literally my job. And when it comes to Disney, I am so intimidated by planning this trip. I don't even know where to start, and I don't think I'm alone in that.
No, I hear that all the time. It is overwhelming, but that's where I come in. I will ease all of your stresses. I will make the planning easy, and you'll show up and just have a good time with your family. That's
I love
the
to
job.
hear it. I love to hear
That's
it.
the job. Before we get started, let's do it.
Okay.
Feel good?
I feel ready.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Tell me what Disney destination you want to visit. Disney World is in Orlando, Florida. Disneyland is in Anaheim, California. There's also Disney Cruises. There's a Disney resort in Hawaii called Aulani. There are Adventures by Disney, which are group guided tours around the world.
We're going to do Disney World.
Perfect.
Yeah, we'll start there.
It's a great place to start. Tell me, how old are your kids?
So my daughter's 3 and my son is 5.
Oh, those are the best ages. What are they into? Do they like characters?
Here's one of the things that I'm actually concerned about. I feel like within Disney, they have different interests and that one's going to want one thing, one's going to want another. My daughter is very into Frozen. She's going to like all the princess things. They both do like Bluey.
For your daughter, obviously the princesses is a big appeal. There's Cinderella's Royal Table is a character meal in Magic Kingdom. There's a boutique where she can get made up like a princess, also in the Magic Kingdom. Frozen is over in Epcot. There's 4 different parks at Disney World: Magic Kingdom, Animal Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot. The kind of issue is that it's hard to get to each one. You can get a park hopper ticket, which gives you the flexibility to move between parks. That's kind of a lot for little kids. 3 and 5, that's a lot of dragging around. I almost feel like we want to focus more on just one park per day.
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom has a lot of rides. You can spend 1, if not 2 full days there with your kids being their ages. Epcot, the Frozen ride, the meet and greet with Anna and Elsa is going to be a huge hit.
There's a meet and greet with Anna and Elsa?
Yes.
Yeah, no, she would love that.
Yes.
What is really the best time to go?
May is a fantastic time to be in Disney World. April is also a good time as long as you avoid Easter. Early December is typically a really nice time, and the parks are all decorated for the holidays.
I'm guessing we don't want to be there during the peak times, which would be school breaks, pretty much all school breaks.
Yeah, you definitely want to avoid summer. All the kids are out of school and it's hot. You want to try to avoid that as much as possible. There are pockets of time on the calendar that are good to travel if you're okay with pulling the kids out of school at this age. That's even better.
So it sounds to me like if I had the luxury of doing this, I would want to go when the kids are not out of school, maybe May, because I feel like the weather is probably going to be good. And during the week is better than over the weekend.
Weekdays are great to travel. Weekends are always busier. Friday and Saturday nights are more expensive at the hotels too. So if we can avoid staying a Friday or Saturday, that's even better. I typically like to suggest a vacation being anywhere from 5 to 7 nights. There are 4 theme parks, right? So if you want to visit each park one time and maybe plan for a down day, that's 5 days right off the bat. I like to do like a Sunday to a Friday. Perfect. Weekdays, less expensive, and it kind of hits all the marks. A big deciding factor about how this vacation is going to play out is where you decide to stay. So we need to factor that in. Let's talk about the different neighborhoods. That's how I like to look at it. There's the Magic Kingdom neighborhood. There's the Epcot Hollywood Studios neighborhood. And then there's the Animal Kingdom neighborhood. So not one of those hotels is going to put you close to all 4 theme parks, which is why I think about them as neighborhoods.
Okay, so before we even get into it, from what I understand, you can either choose to stay in the park, or you can stay outside of the park.
Yeah.
And what would be the benefit of one or the other?
The Disney-owned properties are considered to be on campus, and you do get perks when you stay on campus. You can get into the parks a half an hour early, which puts you basically at the front of the line, which is always where you want to be. You get to add a dining plan to your package, which you can't do if you're staying off campus. And I think the biggest perk these days is being able to make your lightning lane reservations, which you make 7 days prior to your arrival, starting at 7 a.m., and you do it through your My Disney Experience app. Lightning lanes is basically giving you a reservation to ride a ride at a certain time. When you're staying off campus, you can only do that 3 days ahead of time.
If I am in a lightning lane, does that mean I'm jumping the line? Does that mean that I'm just getting a bit of a head start?
No, you're basically jumping the line.
Okay.
When you get to a ride, there's going to be 2 queues, the standby queue and the lightning lane queue. Because you've made a lightning lane reservation, you can go through the lightning lane queue. So you might wait 10 minutes while the standby line queue might be waiting a half an hour or more.
Great. So I have greater access to that by staying on the park. And if I'm staying outside of the park, I don't have priority access.
Well, you get to make those lightning lane reservations 3 days before. But the catch is that some of the more popular rides, they're going to be sold out already.
Yeah.
They only give a certain amount of lightning lanes out.
So what is the benefit of staying outside of the park?
It's really budget.
Yeah.
I have clients that stay at grandma's house down the road because it's free, or an Airbnb because they're bringing, cousins and aunts and uncles and grandmas and grandpas. Makes sense, but you have to understand what you're losing. So what's important to you? That's what I want to know.
All things considered, I think I want to stay on property. It feels like it's going to be more convenient for me, considering my kids are 3 years old, 5 years old. I think it's key to be able to get that early access. And I kind of like the proximity factor.
I agree with you. I would probably suggest staying in the Magic Kingdom area.
Okay.
Given the ages of your kids and what you told me their interests were. So budget obviously plays a part in everybody's vacation, and I want to realize that and work with you. There's deluxe properties. The major goal when you stay at a deluxe property is easy access to the parks. The Polynesian, the Grand Floridian, the Contemporary are very close to the Magic Kingdom. A little bit further away, but still close to the Magic Kingdom, is going to be the Wilderness Lodge. You would take a boat from the Wilderness Lodge to get to Magic Kingdom. A little bit of an inconvenience, not huge, but you're going to save a little bit of money by staying there.
And what do you mean by boat? To me, in my mind, the boat is sounding like a ride that my kids get to take.
It kind of is. A lot of kids consider it part of the attraction.
You can turn it into a bit of fun if you choose to stay there and save some money.
The Wilderness Lodge has a great theme to it. It's like you're staying at a village in the Pacific Northwest. You know, that sort of lodgy feel. A great pool too, because we want to plan some downtime. So those are the 4 resorts that I consider near the Magic Kingdom, if that's where we want to stay.
I think the Magic Kingdom sounds good. And to be honest with you, I like the idea of once I get into that park, if I feel my kids are about to lose it and we want to break up the day, it's easy enough for me to exit the park, go have an hour or whatever it might be at the pool, chill, and then come back again later.
I like to call it a rest and refresh. We all need it, even the parents.
So I've heard you now mention the 4 parks quite a few times. Can you just quickly tell me the difference between each of the 4 of them, why you would go to each of them, who they're really for, and what they offer?
Absolutely. So Magic Kingdom is the iconic, right? It's everybody thinks about Big Thunder Mountain, Splash Mountain. Those are where the iconic rides are going to be. Cinderella's castle is there. That's where the fireworks are. The Main Street USA, that is Disney World when they think of Disney World.
So it's kind of like, it's like the primary. It feels like it's the primary park.
The other parks have so much to offer too. Epcot is going to be where the Frozen is. So a lot of times parents with little girls will say, I don't need to go to Epcot. And then I'll say, well, what are your kids interested in? And I'll get the Frozen thing. And they're like, oh, I have to go to Epcot, right? You have to see Frozen with little girls. That's where the World Showcase is with all of the countries. For parents, it's a nice kind of reprieve from the craziness of the rides. So you can have champagne in France or a beer in Germany and a pretzel. So that's where you're walking around the countries.
I feel like I've heard about that famous sort of like global bar crawl.
Drink around
the world.
Yeah, exactly. So that's there at Epcot. And they also have some great rides. Animal Kingdom. It's more than just a zoo. People are like, I have a great zoo here in New York City or Boston. It's more than that. And my favorite ride of all time there, Flight of Passage. It's the best ride ever. And it's as if you're flying on the back of a banshee. It's just incredible. And then we have Hollywood Studios. So a little bit of Cars feel there. Hollywood Studios is more based on the TV shows and the movies. So that's what you'll find there. So we really need to draw down to what would be most important for your kids.
Even though it's unofficial, are there kind of, different ages sort of prefer different
for
of the
sure.
four? Yeah. So for the 3 and 5, I'm guessing Magic Kingdom.
Magic Kingdom for sure. I think Hollywood Studios also, because they also have Star Wars Land and Toy Story Land, which is huge at Hollywood Studios. So I'm thinking Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, and Epcot. You're going to have to do Epcot for Frozen. Assuming that the time that we plan to go, the crowd calendar looks to be good for all the days that you're going to be in the parks.
Crowd calendar? What is that exactly?
So I have access to a crowd calendar that tells me how busy the parks are going to be each day when you're there.
Useful.
Yeah.
Very useful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I would base your itinerary on that information. So I'm going to assume that all the parks look to be good. There's nothing special going on that would deter us from going to one park on any specific day. I would say let's start with Magic Kingdom. Given the kids' interest, given the proximity to the park, it's an easy way to kind of slide into it. I think hitting Tiana's Bayou is great. I think the Princess Castle for your daughter is going to be good. And I think we should also book a reservation at the castle for a meal where she can see multiple princesses.
You mentioned the Princess Castle.
Yes.
Lunch with princesses?
Yes, that's a great
my
idea.
daughter will love that.
So it kind of checks 2 boxes. You're going to have to eat, so we're going to have lunch, and you're going to meet the princesses.
Okay.
So boxes checked. That's probably going to last like an hour and a half. After lunch, I'm going to say we're going to leave, and you're going to go back to the hotel and take a break, a rest and a refresh, I like to call it. Do the kids like fireworks, parades?
I think they probably would.
Yeah. So I think we need to plan for the nighttime parade and the fireworks show. So it'll be a later night. Usually fireworks are 9, 10 p.m., depending on time of the year.
Okay.
And then you're going back to the hotel, which will be easy because you're close to the Magic Kingdom, and you're going to sleep. Much needed sleep.
It sounds like a good first day. It also sounds, I'm almost worried like we might peak too soon. Is there some sort of strategy in making us end on the highest note, or should we start with the highest note?
Yeah, I think start with it just because the kids are going to be so excited and it is their first visit.
Yep.
Yeah. Another cool thing that Disney does for first visits is they'll give them a pin. Every cast member that they see will be like, welcome, it's your first time here.
Okay.
It's exciting. They love a celebration. Disney's all about storytelling, which makes it magical. It's a good thing to start there.
Okay, day 1 sounds great.
Yes.
Day 2.
Day 1 was a little more about your daughter with the princess kind of heavy
Probably
day.
true.
So maybe we go to Hollywood Studios and see if we can entice your son there. Star Wars Land is as if you're on set for the Star Wars movie. There's a cool cantina there called Oga's Cantina.
Yeah.
It's like the bar from the very first Star Wars movie. So we can schedule you guys, they have alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks.
Yep.
Go in for a quick drink. The maximum time in there is a half an hour. So it's like in and out quickly. They want to rotate you through.
Quick.
Yeah, that's fun to do in Star Wars Land. And just walk around and you're in awe of it. The rides there are a little bit too much for the kids at their ages, but super cool even just to walk around and see it. But I think Toy Story Land has some great rides. There's a roller coaster there called Slinky Dog Dash that they call a family roller coaster. It is up and down like this when I'm like, this is more than a family roller coaster. But it's a lot of fun. But I think Hollywood Studios might be day 2 for your son.
Hollywood Studios day 2 for my son. Quick question 2. Obviously, we're a family of 4 and we're going into these different parks. We have to pay for 4 different entrance tickets into every park every time we go. Is that's
a great question.
Correct? Or?
So this is going to be part of your package. So when I build your package, I'm booking the hotel and your tickets. I can add a photo package to it. I can add a dining plan to it. And then we're paying that package amount. If you buy one individual ticket for each day that you're going to go, it's more expensive.
Yeah.
Looping the tickets in with the room reservation is the best way to go.
Okay, so day 2 sounds pretty covered. I feel like day 3 we might want to do another, I don't know, is it smart to do the walking distance one on day 3, or should the day 3 be the one where you also have to get on the bus and go far?
So I'm thinking Animal Kingdom because I think day 3 you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
Right? You're maybe looking for a break. Animal Kingdom has some great rides and attractions. Love it. but it might not be a full day park, which might be good for day 3 because now we can plan a little break.
We can assume we're going to spend less time inside Animal Kingdom out of all of them. And with something like Animal Kingdom, are my kids going to walk in and still see the characters that they know and love? Or so the characters are everywhere.
Yeah, so the huge appeal with Animal Kingdom right now is this is where Bluey and Bingo are.
That is huge.
So they're at Conservation Station in Animal Kingdom.
Okay, and then day 4, it means we're going to Epcot.
Day 4 is going to Epcot.
It means I can do my big drink around the world. By day 4, I'll probably need it.
Epcot also has nighttime fireworks. From your hotel close to the Magic Kingdom, you are going to bus to Epcot or take the monorail.
Okay.
So the monorail will take you to Epcot. You have to change lines at the Ticket and Transportation Center. It's similar to like the subway here.
It's like a whole city.
It is. It really,
I didn't realize this.
It really is.
Like it really is Disney World.
And do you know that Disney World is actually, there's a ground, like a whole nother city underneath Disney World where all the cast members come and go?
I did not know this, but I really want to unpack that.
Yes, it's very, very
really cool.
This could potentially be a day where you're going a little bit later again. Because, I think Animal Kingdom, you're going to go early to the park, and then you're going to maybe take a chill afternoon. Rest and refresh. Then the next day we're going to go to Epcot later in the day so that you can lash through the fireworks. So maybe you show up 10, 11 o'clock. We do a nice lunch. If you like to sit down and have a nice lunch or a nice dinner, I think in one of the countries for me, they've got a great restaurant in Italy called Via Napoli. Very authentic thin crust pizza and a glass of red wine. You'll be ready for it.
My partner is from Italy, so we have pretty high standards. But I know your mother's also from Italy, so if it's good for you, I'm sure we'll enjoy it too.
It is very good. And then stay for the fireworks there. One more fireworks show before you leave the next day, I think is amazing.
Kind of sounds like a nice ending note too, doesn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Another
to end on the
fireworks. You started with fireworks at Magic Kingdom and at fireworks at Epcot.
I've heard you talk a few times about lightning lanes. I feel like this is something we really need to unpack and I need to understand it better. So what are the lightning lanes and why do I need them?
Lightning lanes are going to get you onto a ride quicker, basically. You book them in advance because you're staying on campus. You get to do that 7 days prior to your arrival date at 7 a.m. Eastern Time, and you do it through an app on your phone. It's the My Disney Experience app that you're going to want because you reference it a lot while you're there for multiple reasons, Lightning Lane being one of them. When we have your planning call, we'll touch more on the different rides. We'll send you an email with a chart that shows you which rides fall under which category. The most popular rides in each park with height requirements. My kids would like this one. This is one we can't miss. We definitely need to get a lightning lane for this one.
And not every ride, I'm guessing you need the lightning lane, but the popular ones you do.
Absolutely. So there's 3 different kind of categories within the lightning lane system. The single pass rides, multi-pass rides, and then there's a premier pass. The single pass is going to be the most popular ride in each park. When you purchase it, you get to choose which of the most popular. Some parks have 2, some parks just have 1. Single pass rides. That's really the most popular ride in the park, which probably is not going to be for your kids because it's usually the bigger roller coasters. The multi-pass is the one I think will fit you guys the best. And that's basically all the other rides in the parks. And then the Premier Pass, which is the most expensive under the Lightning Lane umbrella, is going to allow you to ride each ride one time only, 1 park per day. And you go through the Lightning Lane queue. And there's no time associated with it, which is the beauty of that. Because with the single pass and the multi-pass, you're tied to a specific time to go through the Lightning Lane system.
That flexibility is probably the greatest advantage for that more expensive option. Because I think, again, it's like we've talked about this, with a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, I can schedule and assume it's going to work out, but things change all the time and you kind of need that flexibility. I don't want it to be too rigid.
The only problem is the price. It is pretty expensive. Erin, I know it sounds like a lot, but I promise you, you are in good hands. I actually have a video that I've recorded myself on my phone showing you how to go to the My Disney Experience app, where to find the Lightning Lane box to press, where the list of rides are, how to actually book it, and what it will look like to you on that morning at 7 a.m. You know, parents are also overwhelmed with 7 a.m. We will call you the day before as well. We'll also send you this email again the day before, and we'll say, have your phone out right now. Let's talk about it. Let's do it together as we're on the phone. Because you can actually see up until the point where you have to book and pay for, you can see what it's going to look like. So we'll do that together on the phone, and then the next morning you're fully prepared to go ahead and book them.
So I want to talk about a topic which is extremely important. I want to get it right. Food.
Yes.
Where am I eating? How much am I eating? How am I arranging my meals?
Yep.
Can I wing it? Is it going to cost me a fortune? Are snacks going to be readily available? Tell me everything.
Yeah, there's food everywhere, from a Mickey ice cream to a Mickey shaped pretzel to a hot dog, chicken nuggets. I like to at least plan for one sit-down meal a day, and we could include a character meal. Doing a character meal, I think, kind of checks two boxes.
Yeah.
You're having a good meal and you're meeting the characters.
Yeah.
Versus having to find the characters in the park and wait online. It's really based on how you like to eat as a family. In your Magic Kingdom day, we're going to do Cinderella's Royal Table as your sit-down meal for that day. So in the afternoon or the morning and the evening, you might do a quick service location. What I love about the quick service locations is it's not as formal, because the kids also don't want to sit for hours and hours.
When we attempt to go out for dinner on just a normal day, they could be a disaster at the table because they're so tired. And if we've had a long day of like lining up and doing these rides and so much stimulation, I don't know that they're it's going to be pleasant to sit down.
Sure. Using the quick service locations and the mobile order feature, which is in your My Disney Experience app. You can order food in advance from one of these quick service locations. You walk up to the line, mobile order pickup, your food's ready. You go sit down at a picnic table, you eat, and you're done.
We've established a pretty good framework here. 4 days.
Yes.
We're staying in the park.
Yes.
We're going to do one park every day. Level with me. How much is this going to cost my family of 4? It all comes down to this.
Comes down to money, yeah. For your family of 4 staying on campus in a deluxe property with 4-day base tickets, meaning you're going to one park per day. You haven't upgraded to the hopper, which gives you the flexibility.
One park per day.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I think that's perfect for you guys.
Stick to that for now.
Absolutely. Estimating between $5,000 to $6,000 for the hotel and the tickets. Now you've picked a deluxe property.
Okay.
We could make modifications if that's too much, of course.
Okay.
Moderate category resorts, typically you're spending more like $3,000 to $3,500.
Okay. For the 4 days.
For the 4 days.
Okay.
Yep. And if you want to do a value category, maybe you're talking $2,500 to $3,000.
Okay.
Yeah, you want it to be closer to the action, and you're paying for that, right? We pay for location no matter what we're looking at, whether it's a vacation or real estate. Transportation within the parks from park to park from your hotels is included, whether it's the monorail, the Skyliner. And my service to you is free of charge. I don't think I mentioned that yet.
Well, now that we're talking about budget, it's a good time to mention.
Yeah, there's no extra fee for me. I get paid directly by Disney for my work.
Wow. I have this fear that Disney is going to be one of those places where you can't bring anything into the park with you. Is that the case? And what is it that I should be bringing? I will need strollers, even for my 5-year-old. It's going to be an exhausting day. But Disney, I can rent all that stuff there.
So I don't suggest that, because those are the hard plastic uncomfortable ones.
Okay.
And they are first come, first serve.
Yeah.
So by the time you get there, they might be sold out. I use a company, I've been partnering with them for years, that will deliver right to the resort.
Okay.
They leave the stroller at Bell Services.
Okay.
And you pick it up when you get there, and you drop it off at Bell Services when you leave. I would suggest a double stroller for the duration.
Yeah.
It's easy. Why not?
Okay.
And if your 5-year-old doesn't get in, or your 3-year-old doesn't get in, you have room for bags or stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And they can take a nap in the stroller.
100%.
Which is so valuable.
Yeah. Mom's going to have a backpack with her, right? The things that I would love to see you bring with you.
Yeah.
A water bottle.
Sure.
We all need to be hydrated.
Okay.
So at every quick service location, you can bring your water bottle, ask them to fill it up for you. They do have hydration stations.
Great.
You need to stay hydrated. Very important.
Okay.
You need to shield yourself from the sun.
Ooh.
Right? Always bring a hat. You're going to want to
just do a little try it on now.
Oh, it's adorable.
Like it?
Perfect.
Okay.
Very cute. Very
good.
cute. Sunglasses. Don't forget the sunglasses. Let's protect your eyes.
Yep.
A charger. They have charging stations everywhere. Okay, your phone is going to be your best friend with that My Disney Experience app. Make sure that you're always charged.
Okay.
And photos. If you care, if the kids spill something, a Tide to Go stick could be important. Some people really care about that kind of thing.
I feel like my kids are going to be a hot mess when we leave
And you
these
know
parks,
that, and you
so
don't
it's okay,
care.
but
A lot of people
good
care,
tip.
but some don't. I think one of the most important thing is a poncho. This thing would cost you like $15 in the parks.
Huh.
Bring one with you. It's like $1 at the dollar store. Have it with you.
Yeah.
Keep it close by.
It's a good tip too, because to be honest, Florida has showers that can kind of
Yes,
swoop
always
through.
afternoon. They'll just zip through, and you can be drenched and miserable, or just pull out your dollar poncho and you're good to go.
Good.
Autograph books. Let the kids bring these beforehand because they're going to want to get all the autographs from their favorite characters.
Oh, so cute. That's such a good idea.
Yeah.
So they can literally just walk up to the characters and be like, will you sign my book?
Just don't forget the pen.
We got to bring our own pen.
Bring your pen. Each
Great.
kid should have a pen and an autograph book for sure.
Because Cinderella's not walking around with a pen.
No,
No.
she's not.
Great.
She's all glammed up.
That
No
makes
pen.
sense.
Hand sanitizer. We're all worried about germs. That's always important to bring along.
Yep.
I always suggest bringing plastic bags. These little zippy bags come in handy, whether you're packing snacks in your hotel room to bring with you into the parks, or the kids haven't finished a big Mickey pretzel and we want to finish later on. Put it in here and you can have it for later.
So I can bring food with me into the park.
100%. Yeah, absolutely.
That's really good to know.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
honestly, I would have
Sure.
assumed that it's when you go in, it's
Yeah.
no food. You have to buy all of your snacks.
No,
and things
you can
inside.
definitely bring food in with you. A lot of times I recommend ordering groceries ahead of time. Regular standard rooms will have a mini fridge in them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
maybe getting a delivery of little yogurts or peanut butter and jelly and a loaf of bread and make a sandwich and bring it into the parks with you.
Okay.
You don't have to spend money on the food in the parks.
Great to know.
It's convenient. Some hand sanitizer wipes, of course, are very important always. Some things that you can't bring into the parks, selfie sticks are prohibited. No selfie
Really?
sticks, I know.
I would have thought like Disney would have been prime selfie stick territory.
You'd think so, right? But no, selfie sticks are prohibited, I think.
Because it gets in the way?
Gets in the way
Yeah.
of everything. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're too long. Glass bottles, no glass.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
No alcoholic beverages can be brought in.
Sure.
Weapons, anything like that, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think really that's it. There's not too many. Lots that you can bring versus what you can't bring, which is
Okay.
nice.
Michelle, so we let our audience know that you're coming in today. They have sent in some questions that they would love for you to answer.
I would
so
love to.
I'm going to play a couple of them. Ready for the first one?
Yes.
All right.
Traveling to Disney for a wedding. I'm thinking of tacking on just one extra day after the wedding. I'll have my 8-year-old daughter with me. What would be the perfect one day at Disney?
That's a great question. One day at Disney is tough, but I think with an 8-year-old girl, I would recommend the Magic Kingdom, of course. It's where she'll see the princesses, Cinderella's castle, Main Street USA. There are plenty of attractions at Magic Kingdom to fill up one day. So I would say Magic Kingdom would be my choice.
You ready for question number
Sure,
2?
bring it.
All right. Here we go.
We're thinking about taking our family to Disney during Christmas break, but I hear the crowds can be pretty bad. How do you decide if a holiday Disney trip is worth it? And do you have any tips on doing it right?
Oh, a Christmas visit is very hard. It's very, very busy. It is the busiest week to go and the most expensive. If that's the only time you can go, then we can make it work with the Lightning Lane Premier Passes or VIP tours, I think are very important. Booking far enough in advance to be able to secure the hotel that you want is very important because that week books up. If you know ahead of time that you have to have this particular week and it is a busy week, I suggest we jump on it as soon as we can. Pre-planning is important for a busy week.
Ready for another question?
Go ahead.
All right. Let's see what they have to say.
Hey, my friend is getting married, and I am planning a bachelorette trip for Disney World in the fall for about 6 ladies. We want to stay in a cool resort. Our number one priority is eating and drinking around the world at Epcot, obviously. So I wanted to know if you have any advice for what hotel to stay at. And then my second question, the age-old question, is it Mexico or Canada? And follow-up question, or is it neither and it's something else? Would love to hear your opinion.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
That's
those
a
are
totally
great
different type of
questions.
trip.
I love that. I love planning girl trips. I love planning adult-only trips. Drinking around the world is a fun thing that everybody seems to know about. There's also drinking around the monorail resorts. That's also very fun.
Okay.
So resort, I would say one of the 3 closest to Epcot, which would be the Boardwalk, the Yacht Club, or the Beach Club. I love the Beach and Yacht Club because of the great pool there. If it's a girls trip, I'm thinking that being in the parks and doing the rides isn't as important as spending time together. So perhaps the Beach and Yacht Club because of the great pool. The Boardwalk Inn right around the lake from the Beach and Yacht Club is also a great location. Walking into Epcot, very easy. The Boardwalk to me might be the winner because I feel like it's a little less crazy at the pool. You know, the one at the beach and yacht club, a lot of families will go there because they know how good the pool is. So maybe a little quieter pool time at the boardwalk. Drinking around the world, again, it's so popular. I say Canada just because that's where I have always started. Great beers there in Canada to start with. And think about splitting your flights. Buy a flight of champagne, a flight of wines, a flight of beers, and sharing it with your friends, because it's a lot of alcohol that you'll consume when you get around the whole of the countries. So split that.
Ready for another one?
Uh-huh.
All right, let's go.
My nephew has autism, and we're thinking about taking him to Disney for the first time. How accessible is Disney for guests with sensory sensitivities? Thank you.
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. Disney has something called the DAS Pass, Disability Access Service. You can have a video call with a cast member from Disney, explain what your child's issues might be, and then you get a DAS Pass issued to you and however many people are in your family. So it's, one of your kids has an issue, the 4 of you will get a DAS Pass. This will give you the opportunity to book lightning lanes ahead of everybody else. Kind of front of the line access to the lightning lane system. You're still going to have to wait in the lightning lanes, but you get to book them. You don't have to wait till 7 days before. You don't have to wait till 7 a.m.
Okay.
You can book them way far in advance.
What about guests that have mobility issues? I mean, I think there's a lot of multi-gen, trips going to Disney World, and you might have older generations or even younger generations who just can't move as agilely as the rest.
Absolutely. Yeah. Disney's very accessible. They make ramps all over the parks for that reason. There's always elevators to certain rides. People with wheelchairs or scooters that can't get in and out of the scooters or wheelchairs easily can use elevators or ramps. The company that I partner with for the strollers also rents scooters. So there are scooters at the parks that you can rent day of. But again, if you're needing a scooter, I prefer to have it rented ahead of time, so it's there for you the entire time while you're there to use. But yeah, Disney's very accessible.
Michelle, I have to say thank you so much for your help today. And I really feel like right now this is a trip that not only I can manage, but I'm actually I'm kind of excited about it.
Yay!
Yeah, I'm getting excited.
Awesome. I love to hear it. It was my pleasure. Any questions, I'm by your side.